All right, everyone. Welcome back to BJ's Fantasy Corner. We had another busy week in the NFL. We had the Tennessee Titans have an outbreak of COVID. I believe it was 19 players and personnel all involved, and they haven't had a positive test in the last day or two. So hopefully that means they'll be on for the Bills this week. We also saw Cam Newton test positive this week for the coronavirus, and a practice squad team member for a practice squad quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, luckily, Chiefs and the Patriots were able to play tonight, so there was no other players involved. Everyone tested negative extensively. They even pushed the game back. So we got the Bears flexed into late afternoon. So yay! All right, let's get to the Bears. So they're 3-1. They lost to the Colts. Jimmy, that Colts defense might be a Super Bowl defense. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean I was kind of down on them a little bit because I didn't really play anybody, but and not like our offense is explosive, but yeah, I mean they're the number one defense for a reason. I mean they can stop the run, they can stop the pass. The Bears had no answers for them really at all.
Well, it doesn't help when your offense is, terrible. I mean, I don't know how many times I had to watch them try to run up the middle and get stuffed 1 yard in the backfield before they said, you know what, maybe probably shouldn't run that play anymore. Let's run a stretch or, maybe a pitch out or something like that, a sweep, something. They just kept running the same play, and then it's going to be, well, Matt Nagy last year didn't run the ball enough. Now he's running the ball too much. So our offense is broken, and we definitely need to fix it. But they punched us in the mouth, and I think they're probably going to win the AFC South easily. I mean, considering the Houston Texans are 0-4 and the Jaguars aren't anything either. So let's move on to the biggest. I think this is the most exciting game of the week: the Cowboys and the Browns. Now, at face value, that doesn't sound very exciting. Cowboys who can't stop anyone, and the Browns who are the Browns, but they put on a hell of a show. 49-38 final score. How many games has there been a player throw 500 yards and 4 touchdowns and lost?
Well, I mean he got to add to a nice list with Tony Romo and Matt Stafford.
So 3. So Dak Prescott had 500 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and a loss. Now, granted, his stats are awesome, and he's definitely looking to get that money. Problem is his defense can't keep anyone from scoring, and especially that rush defense. I mean, how many yards did the Browns eventually have in that game on the
I think
ground
they
at
said
least?
307 or something like that.
Yeah, and that's without Nick Chubb.
I
Nick
mean,
Chubb sprained his
right?
MCL like in the first quarter, so that was Kareem Hunt and like 2 backups all rushed like crazy on the Cowboys. What's your take on that game, though, Jimmy? What did you see and what did you like?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay Dak. I mean, he's uh, like you said. I mean, with that stat, it's only ever happened 2 other times. I mean, if you're throwing 500 yards, I mean, one you're either just tearing everybody up from the beginning, or you're playing catch up. But he's doing it every single game. That defense, like you said, can't stop anybody. The Browns, it was nice to see them kind of show out, like you said, with Chubb being hurt. Hunt pretty much just showed why he's the best backup in the league. He had a couple of those crazy plays by Beckham. I mean, he caught the flea flicker kind of end around whatever from Landry, and then he had whatever that run was, pretty much stealing the game when everybody was just loafing on Dallas. Like the guy is just running right past everybody.
Yeah, it was pretty tough to watch. I mean, you have such a great talent in Dak Prescott, and he has weapons around him. He's got Zeke Elliott, he's got Amari Cooper, he's got Gallup. I mean, Dalton Schultz has shown that he can be a decent tight end in this league, and their defense just can't keep the other team from scoring. I mean, Baker Mayfield didn't even have that many passing yards. It was all running. They just pounded the rock. I mean, they legitimately pounded the rock down to the Cowboys' throat for 4 quarters, and the Cowboys almost came back. You got to hand them credit for it, but I mean, it was just too much for him to handle. On the injury front, again, more injuries this week. Nick Chubb with the sprained MCL, he's going to be out for at least 4 to 6 weeks. They're saying Austin Eckler, he has a grade 2 hamstring. He'll be out for a few weeks as well. So a lot of the big names are getting knocked out here in the season. OJ Howard ruptured Achilles tendon, so he's going to be on IR for the rest of the year. My Dak Prescott was my pick for MVP this year, and I think he has a good chance of winning it. Now, again, his team's going to hold him back. But Russell Wilson, the real MVP candidate, had a really good game. Again, it's not surprising. and he actually tied Peyton Manning's record for most touchdown passes through the first 4 games with 16. I know he didn't throw a DK train, but what was your take on that game?
Yeah, he sure as hell didn't throw it to Lockett either. Um, yeah, so like you said, I mean, the guy is absolutely just balling out. And it's weird because the Seattle's defense, I mean, they're still good, but I mean, they're also trying to have to come back like they had to do against the Cowboys and things like that. So, I mean, if they can shore up that defense, I mean, Jamal Adams was out last game. I think he's going to be back. So if they can shore up that defense at all, I mean, like you said, he's who can stop him? I mean, he's throwing those rainmaker touchdown passes to David Moore, pinpoint in the back of the end zone in the corner, and that's the third option. And then Carson was back from being injured, so I mean, they were one of my Super Bowl picks. I mean, I don't, unless barring a huge injury, I don't see how they don't make it out of the NFC.
And I mean, they haven't lost yet, right? They're 4-0.
Correct.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone can even beat them. I mean, like you said, barring an injury, I could see them legitimately going 16-0. Now, granted, they may get to the end of the season where they've already locked for the division, and they may lose a game because they're just going to throw all the backups in there. But I mean, they're unstoppable right now. I mean, Dak Prescott is having a great season, but Russell Wilson may have a better season when it all comes to the end because he's got a team that can back him up. We did have some other news today. Bill O'Brien was fired by the Texans as the general manager and coach, not just one or the other. So we had talked about that offline. How would it be? What if he got fired as coach but not GM? Which puts Romeo Crennel as the head coach. So 0-16 for them this year, number one pick probably. Oh no, they don't get the number one pick because they sold it to the Dolphins. So the Dolphins will probably get the number one pick.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of watching that Falcons game, so I kind of wonder if Dan Quinn is going to have the same kind of issues. But I mean, yeah, like so he should have tried to say, all right, as a GM, I'll fire myself as the coach and see if that would have flew with the organization. But yeah, I mean, as soon as you probably like we've talked about it before, that maybe the worst trade ever, trading Hopkins for David Johnson, even though he's been decent because you didn't want to pay him. And now, like you said, they have no first and second round picks next year. I don't even think they have a third. I think their first is a fourth.
Oof.
They have the highest they have the highest like salary cap. They're paying $255 million for this roster that's 0-4 right now. And like you
Yeah.
said, I mean, I don't what do you have Watson and who else? I mean, I don't even
Oh,
know what they can do to turn it around. And then people are talking about maybe uh, Josh McDaniels and Nick Casario, who's like in the front office in New England. You just got those guys with O'Brien and Crennel. Why would you want anybody from New England? They haven't done anything.
no, the Belichick coaching tree doesn't do very well in any league they go to. They do great under him because he can cover them, but after they leave the tree, it's not very good. And I just can't imagine. I don't know who they're gonna go after. I mean, their roster is gonna have a complete makeover. I have a feeling whoever the GM is that comes in is gonna start doing some trading of pieces to get some draft capital back, and then probably tear it down, build it up around Deshaun Watson again, because they have no one on offense. They've got Deshaun Watson and David Johnson and what the tight end Fells, and then Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks. What's the other guy? The guy who was in Dallas last year, Randall Cobb. I mean, these guys are all B level wide receivers, C level running back now. Can't stay healthy. So it's kind of unfortunate that they're wasting away, the good years of Deshaun Watson. By the time he's actually ready to compete, he'll probably be in his 30s, unfortunately, but that's still a long ways off. He may be mid 20s then, so who knows? But let's see, anything else here? Oh, so my prediction this year for the Super Bowl, it was more likely to be Kansas City, but I think it's gonna be Ravens and Seahawks. I think it's gonna be a bird game, and I think the Seahawks might win it. I don't think they play each other this year in the regular season. If they did, that'd be probably outside of Kansas City, Baltimore, which ended up being kind of a dud. That might be the game of the year to watch because Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson going one after each other would be pretty good. What do you think? Would that be a good game?
Yeah, I think it's you know, the Ravens, besides that Kansas City game where they got shredded, they still have a top tier defense. Seahawks, like I said, if they can shore up whatever is going on their defensive side, yeah, I mean, just the offensive firepower in that game alone would probably be one of the best Super Bowls ever. I have it as Kansas City and the Seahawks, but I mean, with that game tonight, I don't know. Kansas City's just seems something seems off with their offense. Like I don't know if they're just playing down to their opponents or what, but I mean, Brian Hoyer and then Jared Stidham, and you can't blow them out. You know what I mean? Like it takes a pick six late and stuff like that when they're driving. Like I, I don't know what's going on there. I think maybe they're just kind of taking the foot off the gas a little bit.
They might be. I
Maybe that
mean,
that Super
it
Bowl hangover still.
could be. I mean, 4-0 Super Bowl hangover, but yeah, watching the game tonight, and it was the third quarter. It was 6-3. I'm like, well, like where is this game going? Like, is it going to be 10-3 or 9-3? Is that going to be the final of this thing? I mean, it just seemed like the offense wasn't going, and then like you said, it took Tyrann Mathieu a touchdown on defense, and then they had the two like the jet sweeps, which counted as passes for Patrick Mahomes for touchdowns. So they ended up winning like 26-10, which screwed up our plus 14.5, super boost, but whatever. Um, yeah, and then you've got Atlanta getting just smoked by Green Bay right now. I don't even have it on anymore. What's the score now?
It looks like Packers just scored. It's 30-16.
And who they score with? Tell me Jamal Williams.
I don't know. I didn't see. I just seen the score.
Okay, to find out. I've got MVS in fantasy, and he's got Aaron Rodgers and Jamal Williams, and I'm just getting smoked now. So it's not even worth me looking. I'm ready to sell off my fantasy team to anyone who's willing to buy. Just keep Kareem Hunt, Lamar Jackson, burn everything else to the ground. All right, well, let's get to our Week 5 predictions. Week 4, I had a terrible week, not good at all. I was 1-3. Jimmy had a very good week. He was 3-1. We both blew our sleeper picks, which were
Well, you want to talk about
rare.
my sleeper pick there, guy?
Oh yeah, sorry. So Jimmy's sleeper pick last week was Nick Foles. What was it? 250 and 2 touchdowns.
I
Was
thought
that
it
it?
was just
Or
250.
just 200? Oh, just
It was
250 yards.
just 250 yards.
250 yards passing. Easy, right? In the NFL.
Easy.
What did he finish with?
249.
1 yard shy. If he'd taken one step back further to throw to Allen Robinson on a touchdown, Jimmy'd be at 251 and he'd be 4-0. Unfortunately, the chips don't fall that way. He threw for 249. Now, I'd be willing to see if they do a stat correction of some kind and he gets that extra yard at some point. But if he does,
I'm
we'll
looking
award
for it.
we'll award the point to Jimmy.
All right.
But right now he was 3-1, so he goes to 6-6 on the year, and I go to 5-7. Point total, I am still beating him by 1 point, 7-6. So I have to have a good week this week, or else I'm in big trouble. All right, so let's get to the games. We do have the Green Bay Packers and Detroit Lions on bye week. The Tennessee Titans and Buffalo Bills right now are kind of up in the air due to the COVID outbreak that the Titans had. So we don't know what's going to happen with that game yet. We're kind of wait and see. But let's get started right away to Thursday night. That's why we're doing this kind of early this week, because we got to get to the Tampa Bay game against the Chicago Bears on Thursday night. And I am going with Tampa Bay. They're minus 5.5. I think they're going to win easily based on how the Bears have been playing. I don't really see it being much of a game.
Yeah, I have Tampa Bay as my first pick. Like I said, only 5.5. The way that they looked against the Colts, if they had that same kind of performance, Tampa Bay is going to blow them out. Tampa Bay has a pretty good defense, and I mean Brady's never lost to the Bears, so
Well, and the Buccaneers won this week, 38-31. They came back from 24-7 against the Chargers without Austin Eckler. They were up 24-7, like in the first two quarters. They were winning, and then all of a sudden Tom Brady said, "Hold my beer," and threw 5 touchdown passes. So you still can't sleep on Tom Brady. I don't care, how old he is. That avocado ice cream keeps him young. All right, let's get to Atlanta versus Carolina. Atlanta is a minus 3.5. Based on how Atlanta's playing right now, I'm actually picking Carolina straight up to win this game. I think the way they played against the Buccaneers a couple weeks ago, and then how they played this week, shows that they have a little bit of grit and they're willing to come out and try to win.
yeah. I mean, I have it as Atlanta, but I could definitely see. I'm not too sure on that Atlanta pick. I mean, Carolina, like you said, they were supposed to be tanking, and it's just not happening. They had a good game against Arizona. I just don't. I just can't imagine Atlanta with all that talent, even though Julio Jones got hurt again, apparently, um, fall into 0-5.
Well, it could very well happen. Baltimore versus Cincinnati. Baltimore is giving minus 13. Is giving 13 and a half points. I normally this is usually where I fall into a trap and pick the other team. Not doing it this week. I'm going to take Baltimore straight up. I think they're just going to win the game. I don't see them. I could see it being the way Cincinnati's playing. It could be a 35-27 game. It could very well be a 35-14 game. So we'll see what happens. But I'm picking Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Baltimore also. Just throw a shout out to our boy Joey B getting his first W last week.
The Tiger King is out. All right, Jacksonville versus Houston. Houston's an absolute dumpster fire right now, and they're giving 6.5 points. So I'm taking Jacksonville with the 6.5. I think they're going to smoke them.
I have Jacksonville, and then once O'Brien was fired, I kind of talked to you off air about it, like that you're going to get that juice that you get from a new coach. Everybody's playing hard for their job, but I'm still going to go Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that team. Everyone's a dumpster fire. So yeah, I think Jacksonville.
If their new coach was anyone but Romeo Crennel, I'd probably go with you. But he's a terrible coach. He does not have a good track record in the NFL. So even if he brings the extra juice as a new coach, even though he was their D coordinator for how long, they're not going to win. All right. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We just saw the Chiefs win tonight. So they're going to be playing again on Sunday, and they're giving 11.5 points, and that's my second pick. I'm going to take them the 11.5. I think I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I have the Chiefs, but now I'm changing it as we go. After what I seen tonight, I mean, granted, I know the Patriots defense is still good, and it's Belichick, so he's going to throw all kinds of looks at you. That 11.5, I just don't trust, so I'll go with the Raiders on that one.
Now, is that your pick, or are you just picking the Raiders? Is that your
No, I'm
second
just
pick? Or
picking the
just picking the Raiders?
Raiders.
Okay. All right. We have the Rams against the Redskins, or I'm sorry, the Washington Football Team.
Oh,
Man, that's the first. Hey, that's the
WFT
first.
baby.
That's the first time since they changed names that I screwed it up. You gotta hand it to me on that one. All right. Raiders, the Rams are giving 8.5 points. I'm playing the Rams on this. I don't. The Washington may not win another game this year.
I'm going to go Washington. I think.
Ooh.
I mean, I like the Rams defense, but there's been more and more stories about Ron Rivera and everything they're doing. So I can see them rallying behind him and his fighting cancer for a couple wins at least.
Okay. Arizona versus the Jets. Pretty much our high school football team versus the Jets, and I'm going to pick that team. So we're going Arizona on that one.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I almost made it my pick, but Kyler Murray's been kind of burning me. So
All right, Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh. The battle for Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is giving 7 points. I'm picking Pitt. Philadelphia won this week against the Nick Mullins San Francisco 49ers. I think he's going to run to a buzzsaw in Pittsburgh.
yeah, I have Pitt. That's my second pick. Pitt -7. That defense alone is going to shut down Wentz and Freddie Mitchell, whoever the hell they're rolling out at wide receiver anymore. I think it's just going to be a bloodbath.
Well, they had that practice squad guy come up and win the game for him this week. They had the Foghorn Leghorn. Is that his name? I don't even know. Guy's a nobody. All right, Miami versus San Francisco. San Francisco, shockingly, I mean, they may get Jimmy G back, so shockingly, they're giving 7 points. I'm taking Miami on that one. I think Fitzmagic might ball out and have a good game.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, it's going to really depend on if Jimmy G is back or not, but I think he's going to be rusty. Because who are they going with, Mullins or CJ Beathard? I mean, either of those guys doesn't scare me at all. So I don't know if Miami will win, but I think they should easily cover.
Okay. Indianapolis versus Cleveland. Indy's actually a 1.5 point favorite on that. I am kind of surprised the way Cleveland's been playing. Cleveland, I'm picking to win. I'm calling, though, that they're going to have a very hard time if they do win against that defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to throw in some more gadgety plays because the run defense for the Colts is pretty staunch.
Yeah, I'm going to basically what you just said. I'm going to go with Indy. I mean, Cleveland looked good, but it's against that porous Dallas defense that's just giving up everything to everybody. I don't think they're going to have an answer to stop them.
New York Giants versus Dallas. Dallas is giving 9.5. That's my third pick. I'm taking Dallas with the 9.5 points. Don't be surprised if Dak Prescott throws for 700 yards and 17 touchdowns
In a loss.
in a loss.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas too. I mean, the Giants are garbage, and I mean, Dak's gonna have to do something. I mean, sooner or later, all those yards are gonna amount to a win.
You would certainly hope so. All right, Minnesota versus Seattle. Seattle's given 6.5 points. I'm going with the Seahawks again. I don't know if they're going to lose another game. I don't know if they're going to lose a game this year at all.
Yeah, this is my third and final pick. Seattle -6.5. Yeah, like I said, no one's stopping them. That Minnesota defense is definitely not going to stop them.
And the last game we have on the list here is the Chargers versus New Orleans. New Orleans is -8.5. The Chargers do not have Austin Eckler for a while. Mike Williams has been often hurt. We have Herbert still in the game, so as far as we know, I haven't seen any information on Tyrod Taylor if he's coming back anytime soon. So I'm going with the Saints on this one.
Yeah, I'm going Saints as well. I just don't see them having another explosive game like they had against the Bucks.
All right, and my sleeper pick, which really isn't a sleeper pick, but I guess it is. I'm going to take Dak Prescott 400 plus yards and 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty standard. Since I was talking about that Arizona Jets game, and he burns me, so I'm going to use a sleeper on him. We're going to go Kyler Murray. He's going to have 3 or more touchdowns total, rushing and passing
So you're
combined.
going with Kyler Murray, 3 touchdowns of any kind.
Any kind.
Any kind.
Kick
All right,
return,
well,
anything. I don't care.
Kyler Murray back there as a kick return. That would be entertaining. All right, so we have our fantasy points this week. As far as I know, I'm going to lose because I don't think Aaron Jones has done anything. And I don't know who I picked to even have last week, so I don't know if you have the list up who I have. I don't. I got rid of it because I knew I was going to lose to you. So
Burned it.
let's just say Jimmy
Yeah,
won.
you're a loss. I'm
I
pretty sure you
lost.
needed 36. You needed 36 from Aaron Jones tonight to tie me.
Yeah, and he's probably had the one touchdown. Hasn't done anything since. They're throwing everything to Tanyan. Oh yeah, that's another thing.
There you go.
Our
There's our
boy,
guy.
our new favorite tight end, outside of Dalton Schultz, is Tanyan. I don't even know his first name. What's his first name? Greg.
Robert.
Robert Tanyan from Green
Bob.
Bay. Bob Tanyan. Bob. He's got it right now. He's got 3 touchdown passes. Now I don't have the game on anymore. He may have 6 touchdown passes by now. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball over the field. I'm gonna turn the game on here real quick and see what's going on. Okay, but all right. So we'll get to our picks this week for the my picks for my team this week. They'll easily lose to Jimmy like they always do. I'm gonna go with Dak Prescott because I just want to try to win one here. I'm gonna surprisingly try Kareem Hunt out there and see what he can do against that defense. I'm hoping because he'll be the number 1 back, he's gonna get a lot of work. I'm gonna go Dalvin Cook. He had a great week last week. Holy cow. Mike Evans, a wide receiver. I think the Bears might get torched by him. Adam Thielen, again, had a nice big week. Travis Kelce at tight end. Juju Smith-Schuster in my flex. I'm going to take Jimmy's favorite kicker, Justin the Man Tucker. And I'm going to go with Tampa Bay's defense. I think they may hold the Bears to 3 points this week.
All right, I'm going to go Russell Wilson at quarterback. Pretty much the rest of the year. Kamara, Zeke. I wasn't too sure about that one, but I mean, he's got to get something, right? You got to get some touches somewhere.
Yeah.
Nuke. I mean, he's been pretty steady. Ben stole DK from me last week, so I had to start Lockett, and he got me 5 points. So now I'm back on the DK train. I'm sorry I cheated on you. Tied in, I got George Kittle. First game back, he went for 15, like 185 and a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
My flex, just to block you, I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook also. Kicker, I'm going with Butker. And then my defense, I'm going with Pitt.
Pittsburgh defense is a good pickup there. Let's also mention we may have, it's not quite happened yet. I don't have a bottle in my hand, but we're going to be hopefully sponsored by our good friend Michael Smith's hot sauce company that he apparently started without us knowing. So hopefully we get a bottle of hot sauce here sent to us. We can promote him on the channel. I know, Michael, I know you're going to watch, so hopefully you add some more likes and some comments for us because I'm looking to get some more comments on these videos. We're not getting nearly enough or any for that matter. Looking at all you out there. Well, hopefully this week we don't have any more outbreaks. I know in other news we can briefly discuss our president came down with COVID. Hopefully it humbled him and it made him think about it a little bit more. So hopefully we get past everything and we get to the next week without anything going on. But that's it for us tonight, everyone. Stay safe, wear your mask. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at BJ's Fantasy Corner. And coming soon, we'll be having some hot sauce on the channel. So maybe we'll do a hot sauce eating contest on the channel. But all right, everyone. Have a good night. Stay safe.